Alright, so we are now in week 6 of Scrabble as we are up against Jake. To be honest, this is a matchup I kind of like. We both know each other's team building assets and how we generally play. So this is gonna be like one of those games where I'm gonna have to be on my tip-top shows. Okay, I don't know what the hell I said. Obviously, I meant to say toes, but you know, like Jake's a good friend of mine, so he knows how I play. So and I build with him constantly. Um, this is gonna be a very interesting battle, but nonetheless, so he has a lot of physical threats with Azu, Charizard, Aurora, Melmetal, Weavile, um, Falucha. Surprisingly, his entire team is physical. So, with that reason, I do have some interesting stuff for him. Obviously, I had to bring the Wisp on the Mew, and like a Fizz-F Zapdos and Fizz-F Selly. But like, Guitar actually has a very interesting set. It actually has Iron Defense and Body Press as its only attacking move, with I think Rest plus Stealth Rocks. So we'll see how that works. And yeah, like his team doesn't really have any special attackers. Likewise, his highest or his best special attacker actually the Salamence, if you consider choice spec Salamence and whatnot. And then not only that, Charizard is X. You rarely see that as a special Charizard X. And Zeraora is also a possible special threat, so. But likewise, we have to just prep for everything, so. Alright, so we'll just get into the battle. He's gonna lead off with his Weavile, as I lead with Zapdos, and honestly, I should have seen this coming because, I honestly wanted to lead hard Selly, but I was just I was like, you know, if he leads Charizard, at least I could Volt Switch, pivot switch around. But with T-Tar and Selly, this was one of those leads where I just felt like I couldn't lead with Mew, I couldn't lead with T-Tar, I couldn't lead with Selly. It was just it was whether or not he brought a Weavile lead or not, and he just called it, so yeah. He called my lead with Zapdos, even though I brought this as a lead every time, so. The immediate I'm thinking, yeah, this thing is probably, if he has it, he's gonna SD up right now, if I know Jake. Or he just straight up attacks me with Icicle Crash or Knockoff, so, I'm gonna go hard Selly, as he goes for the SD, and now this game literally comes down to whether or not he gets a crit, otherwise, Weavile could just sweep me right here. And, yeah, he goes for the Knockoff, and removes, a chunk of my HP, but obviously I'm gonna knock out the Selly, or the Weavile. But I am somewhat weakened, so at this point, I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake, and just let my Selly just go down. He actually goes for Bulk Up, and I think that's a very, I get what he's trying to do there, but I think he should just claim to kill, but yeah. But now, he's gonna get more, chipped down, and since he doesn't have, the, leftovers, that's bad. I do reveal that I'm actually Scarfed Escadrill. I'm actually Scarfed Escadrill with Sand Rush, by the way. That way I could outspeed, Halucha. So, yeah. I know, that's a funny set, I know. And, Scarf Lucha, or Scarf, Scarf, Sand Rush Escadrill, it kind of makes sense if it went away, because if you have Sand Up, you technically outspeed Halucha, and you outspeed Charizard X, if it's if it gets a multitude amount of defense, or Dragon Dances, so that was kind of my failsafe. Here he's gonna SD up, and yeah, this is gonna be and this is gonna be weird, because Zapdos, unfortunately, doesn't have max defense. I think it's it has near max, it's just I think I had 200 or something HP defense EVs. Maybe a little bit more or less. No, let me just see. Let me see something. Oh, let's see. It has 216, yeah. Yeah. 216. By the way, that was a little, dodge in case anyone wants to see how I build, so whatever. So, Yeah, this battle literally comes down to whether or not he connects with Stone Edge or Rock Slide flinches me. So, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So, um, here he connects with Stone Edge, and I actually live on 1 HP, which is massive because that means I'm just gonna kill this Halucha. Now, the only way he would have killed me was if he had like Adamant Life Orb, and I think it was a damage roll if I recall. I think it was like a 60-40 chance. So, like, okay, it's a 60-40 chance, like 20% in the case like he misses, and like a 75% chance to Oko me. So that's why I say it's like a 60-40 chance. I think I don't know like I don't know the exact math, but like the percentage, but that was like maybe like more or less like the probability of him like getting that. So here I'm gonna go for S toss, and here is Mew. Oh wait, this isn't the Wisp Mew. I recall this isn't the Wisp at all. Yeah, this is just S toss and Encore and spikes. So I think I did. I think I remember like prepping. I was like, I wanted to bring Wisp, and like last minute, I was like, I was scared. I was fearful of like setup spam, so I just brought Encore as like a countermeasure. Um, so here I'm just gonna have to sack and just weaken the Melmetal. So yeah. But the good news is that Zapdos is available and can at least roost up. So I'm gonna be able to roost up here, and he goes a hard Charizard, so this is really bad since he could just set up and do whatever the hell he wants, depending on what he does. Because say he, but then again, if he's Belly Drum, something like Belly Drum or SD, he has to kind of mega up in front right now, and that means like, um, I've kind of taken the liberty of way of him being a flying type, since now I could just check him with Escajo with a Scarf. Or T-Tar if I just go hard immediately. So he is gonna be like faster, and he goes behind a sub, and that's gonna be very interesting for me since I'm gonna be able to Volt Switch out and then go hard T-Tar. So now I'm thinking this is probably SD or Belly Drum. So now I have to get rid of the sub, and he goes for a Dragon Claw, and right there I'm like thinking to myself, man, I should have gone for the the Iron Defense, which now I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it now. So now I'm boosted up with my massive defense stat, and I'm gonna go for Body Press, and it does 37%, as Play Rough does about 40%, and I know this thing is banded, but because of the damage output, I think that pretty much confirms it, since I have like, how much defense do I have? Let's see. General Tar has like what, 436. So yeah, double that, and that's like ridiculous. So yeah, like I could like take another hit. Well, I can't take another hit. If I go for another Iron Defense, I could, but at this point, I'm just gonna have to go for damage. So good news is that Azu is like gonna be chipped down, so I do get a crit, which is unfortunate, and he misses the Play Rough, and that's bad because, well, he doesn't kill me. But now at this point, I don't think like his Charizard could kill me now, because I think Dragon Claw earlier did like 20 something percent. Let me see, yeah, 26%. That's gonna do like 13. Likely now, so at this point I'm just gonna go for the Body Slam, or not Body Slam, but the Body Press, and the game's practically over. Like, he's gonna try to go for the Flare Blitz, burn, but as you see, Body Press is just too much, and yeah, Body Press T-Tar just claims its kills, and that's it. So of course this game really did come down to like damage roll with Zapdos and the Halucha. Like, I had a feeling he wasn't gonna bring like, Unburden, since he did have the possible Rillaboom with Grassy Search, but like with possibility of that plus Unburden Halucha. But I felt like he needs like Life Orb or something like that, like Extra Bell, to even get that extra he needs to like Ocom Zapdos. And that was something I considered, but I didn't consider that he would go like Adamant Life Orb. Um, so and I should have like went for like max defense since that would have just guaranteed me give me that would it wouldn't have guaranteed me live, but at least it would have allowed me to like ensure that like at least T-Tar or Zapdos has a solid chance to live that instead of it being like a 60-40 in his favor. So assuming he connects and like gets the damage roll. So anyways, yeah, that's week 6 for Scrabble. So we'll just move on to like week 7. So and this one's gonna be an interesting one, guys. I promise. Hey guys, this is Black Woman 7 here, and we're back for another installment of Scrabble as we're up against Sammy of the let me see. I know his name is his team name is the Geelong Torcats. So, and yes, I did have to look it up on my phone. So, you know, the good thing about recording is that you know I could have like all the info of the team on the phone. You know, obviously like, all the stuff I have on my Google Sheets. You know, in terms of prep, in terms of like all that stuff. I could just look back and say, oh, this is his team, and I just go back in the notes and the prep I made during that time. So maybe I could make another I could make a team builder or not team builder, but like a guide how I prep in the future. That's something I could do. Alright, so like enough of an outside there. Sammy is here and he's challenging us to a battle. And honestly, I'm kind of terrified of his team because 5 of his Pokemon are setup mons, which make a Kangaskhan with Pyro Punch, Blastoise with, you know, Shell Smash. I think with Shell Smash, Blastoise is probably like arguably the best Shell Smash sweeper, in my opinion. And you have like Dead Necrozma there, Dragon Dance, and SD and Calm Mind. That's something I think to deal with. Aegislash, of course, SD, Specs, got like Bird Band is also annoying. Same with like Hydreigon, Nasty Plotter, Specs, Life Orb, or something like that. Or it could be Bolt. Well, it can't be like Specs, Life Orb, you know. Man, imagine if you let Specs and the Life Orbs boost. Like, you know, I guess you could do that, but like if you get a Charge Beam boost. But like, so yeah. And then you have the Whimsicott there, just that facilitates all the setup options he has. So this week, it's kind of an interesting week since I didn't bring my T-Tar, since I didn't feel like I need it, and I thought like maybe I could just bring like Scarf Drill, just to like outspeed most of his threats. I did bring like Sub Calm Mind Keldeo to like beat most of his team down once like it was like weakened. So I have to get rid of the Whimsicott first. That was like a massive, like that's a massive like, you know, get rid of this mon type of thing. So it's a nuisance if you ask me. So Selly is just here to like sub-seed stall, and Mew, Zapdos are just my pivot options, and Mew in particular is gonna have to like tip his team down pretty much, and Entei is the revenge killer. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for this team preview. I do have to watch out for Blastoise and Hydreigon, so as well as Kang, depending on like, well, I have to watch out for everything depending on what these guys are. You know, I have to figure out which one of these are like the wall breakers, the walls themselves, or even like the offensive like threats. So as I play, so of course I have to like not play too passively around his team. So here I'm gonna delete Keldeo, and he goes with Necrozma, and at this point I'm like, well, shit. I didn't want to leave, like I didn't want to like be like in this like bad spot already. Then again, Keldeo is kind of like a bad matchup in general, so it's just that I didn't want to lead with Mew immediately, and I thought like I should have led with Mew. So that is a hindsight is 2020 thing. So here I'm gonna go to Blue Cat as he's able to go for his rocks, and here he's gonna go for the Signal Beam, and he actually confuses me. The only information we know is that he is a Signal Beam Life Orb, so that's very annoying. And now I'm kind of forced to like sacks, like in a way sacks Shelly, because very likely this thing's gonna have like Heat Wave. So this is like an offensive Necrozma, so like a wall breaker set with like, you know, Heat Wave and maybe like Photon Geyser. And he actually misses with Heat Wave there, and that's unfortunate. As I am gonna get a little bit of recovery back to full, so now I could just go for a heavy slam and just go for some cheat chip. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna do over half to him, as he does have the nasty plot. So I'm gonna go for the leech seeds, and yeah. Here I actually go sack Mew because I kind of just don't want him to do anything else, and I figured, you know what, I might as well just get a free Switch, a free Nintendo Switch or a blue horse. Here he's gonna go back into Necrozma, as I'm just gonna go for Secret Sword. As here I'm like, you know what, maybe I could just bait him into attacking me. So I'm just gonna go for Substitute, as he does attack me. So that's massive, because now he's gonna take Life Orb damage, and he's in range of Scald from the looks of it. So unless he's like max like Videf, like he should fall to this. He goes for like Whimsicott, and he actually goes into Blastoise thanks to the eject button. And I'm like, oh god, is this the way he brought it in? It was like, yeah, this has to be like Shell Smash Blastoise, the way you just brought it in like this. So and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go for sub, see what he does, in case he does have the what do you call it? My mind's escaping me. Of course, he has Shell Smash with White Herb there, but I thought he would go for Toxic if he did have it. So I was like, you know, might as well just scout out. So here he's gonna have the hidden power, Ice or Grass, Flying. My bet's probably gonna be like Grass, since, you know, I have a Bulu anyway. So here I'm gonna go into Escadrille, and at this point I don't really need Drill, and that's definitely not Hidden Power or Electric, or as he's gonna outspeed me. So I'm like, yeah, this is timid. So no, well, we're gonna be able to live that Surf, and thankfully we're gonna be able to stall this thing out. Now I have to be very careful, because if Blastoise gets into Torrent range, that could be really bad for me. So I think at this point I'm like thinking to myself, I have to attack him right now, otherwise I pretty much like lose Selly. And yeah, I have to go for the, like, he goes for the Surf as I go for the Earthquake, and it puts him within range of like, well, on the following turn he'll die. But here, this is where having Protect is gonna come clutch, as now we're gonna like Protect here, and yeah, get rid of the Blastoise. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean I have to sack one of my Selly to a Dark Pulse, but Hydreigon is significantly weakened to where E-Speed on Entei just weakens him down. And at this point in the game, it's gonna come down to Entei, Zapdos, and Keldeo here versus Necrozma, Whimsicott, and Aegislash, as well as Kangaskhan. So this is gonna be a very interesting few set of turns. Here he's gonna go for the Moonblast, and honestly, I'm very concerned about what he can do, because with this Whimsicott, because he could have like something like Tailwind, Knockoff, like, you know, Memento, very likely. So yeah, or even like something as weird as Trick Room. So he goes for the Tailwind, as I'm gonna have to roost up here, since I'm gonna need this thing for Kangaskhan. He actually just Encores me, and I think during these few turns, let me just stop this. Like, I noticed the recording's just gotten slow a little bit, so alright, let me be right back. Alright, so I don't know if that fixed it, but alright, we'll just see. So he goes for another Moonblast, as I'm just gonna keep going for Roost here, because I figured, you know what, if he switches out, that's massive for me, because he won't have the Tailwind. And I think at this point, like, I think he just realizes, you know, I'm just gonna stay in here and just like keep going for Moonblast. So yeah, I'm very concerned about giving him a free switch to Kangaskhan or Aegislash, but at the same time, Entei could switch into the could possibly go for a Sacred Fire Burn on either Kang or AG. So yeah, um, obviously I do have to get rid of this Whimsicott because it's a massive threat for my well Keldeo, and if I can get rid of the Whimsicott, then that's massive for me. So of course I keep going for Roost because I'm trying to see if he's gonna switch out to like Kangaskhan at some point. So at this point I realize, you know, I'm just basically wasting my time here. And I think I just switch out at some point. I think it's like the next turn. Since I'm also getting all these special attack drops. So yeah. I don't know why he did that. Like throughout that whole time I just like felt that he was going to like switch out to one of his mons. So maybe Kang or like Necrozma, and at this point I realized, you know, I have to switch into Entei. So yeah, I make the switch to Entei here, as I think I do have leftovers. He actually goes for Encore, and he tries to go for Tailwind here, and I am just gonna go for Sacred Fire and just knock this thing out because I'm annoyed with this Whimsicott. However, Necrozma is here, and he's out to get me. So um, unfortunately, I don't have any Psychic switch-ins. If I did have Mew right now, it'd be perfect. The job. But I'm gonna have to go for E-Speed, as here he's gonna go for the Photon Geyser and likely outkill my Entei. So that sucks. I think if he didn't have Life Orb, then that would have been huge. But now we go into Zapdos, and I think at this point we have to literally just click Roost again, since he's gonna die to Life Orb damage anyway. So yeah. Down goes to Necrozma, and yeah. Now the Kangaskhan is just left, and it's gonna come down to what type of Kangaskhan this is, because this could be like very interesting, since if I get like my main attacking moves are like Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, and I think Toxic. I could go for Toxic right now, but at the same time he could just attack me straight up and just get paralyzed, so that could be really annoying because that just wastes a turn on my end. So at this point I'm like, you know what, I should just go for Roost right now and just recover. So here he's gonna go for the return, and yeah, I'm gonna have my Rocky Helmet here, just chipping him down, as it does indeed like chip like Kang immediately. So here I'm just gonna go for a Roost again, and just hope that maybe he gets paralyzed or something like that. But here he gets the Power Up Punch, and well, he is gonna get boosted up. He is gonna take a lot of chip, but here in this situation, I have to go for Hidden Power Ice, because he could just straight out kill me. He could just straight out kill me, like with Zapdos or with his Kangaskhan, since like his Kangaskhan could just easily kill me right now, and I can't switch into Keldeo, since say if I Volt Switch into like Keldeo, and I'm faster than the Kangaskhan, then yeah, like the game's over. So now, speaking of this turn, well, let me just go back and explain that. Since Kangaskhan got paralyzed, I'm gonna get the initiative, like Volt Switch initiative, since I'm going first. But the problem is, like, that also means that it gives him a chance to kill me with a return onto Keldeo, and I don't have anything to kill Kangaskhan other than Hidden Power Ice and Toxic, so I'm kind of forced to stuck to like Hidden Power Ice at that part of the game. So that's why I kind of kept going for that move. So now this game comes down to what Aegislash this is. If it's an offensive Aegislash like SD, Specs, like if it's Specs or like Choice Band. I'm hoping it's Choice Band, but since if it's Choice Band, maybe I have a chance, because right now my main goal is just to go for sub and just see if I could bait out the shield, the sword form, and I could just go for Scald. and see what he does. If it's like a defensive Aegis Slash, then I lose for sure. So here I'm just gonna go for the substitute, and we'll see what this Aegis Slash does. Here he actually goes for close combat, and that's actually really important because now I pretty much guarantee Oko this Aegis Slash unless he goes for like King Shield. So at this point, this is gonna be another mind game of whether or not he has like King Shield right now, or if he's just indeed banded. Since often than not, you know, SD Aegis Slash does have no King Shield, but likewise, it doesn't have it. So as he locks himself in, and yeah, it turns out it was a choice band AG. So and yeah, that is a very close set to Sammy. So GG's to Sammy, and yeah, this was like a very like intense battle since I think we were both like first and second respectively in the Scrabble, like leading up to like week 7. So, and this was like one of those very close games. I think he could have like pulled through, like if given a chance. If he got like any lucky with like getting, let's say, getting a crit or so. Though he did confuse my Mew, which was like annoying, but it is what it is. Like, because I think Mew had like spikes, and I could have just set up a spike or two, and that could have been massive, getting that chip onto Aegis Slash. Of course, like the biggest problem was I think Aegis, like Escajil didn't do anything, and that was a bad bring on my end. And so it basically felt like, you know, the minute I lost Mew, it felt like playing 4v6 of really against in an offensive matchup like this. And I had to like kind of play near perfect to like win this game. So I know like the whole turns with the Zapdos v Whimsicott was kind of confusing, but to keep my point, like I still stand on my play because at least I guarantee like recover up to 100% HP, and I at least have like a good pivot into like any, let's say, Kangaskhan or something like that, because I needed the Rocky Helmet chip and Static to have a chance against Kang or Aegis Slash. But unfortunately, you know, Volt Switch was like the one move that kind of bit us in the ass there. So if I do have to play Sammy again, I'll have to reconsider like my Zapdos moveset, so, or like figure out like this team entirely. So, but anyways, good games to Sammy as we advance to the last week of Scrabble. So we'll see you right now, or soon, or. Alright, so we're back for another battle, as we're in our last Scrabble seasonal battle, as we're up against, let's see, Hong, or Fifth Hong, or I believe it's Alex the Spaz, as he goes by on the Discord. So, so looking at this battle, technically speaking, it doesn't really, like, in terms of standings, it doesn't really matter as much. So I could just like, in a way, you could say like I could like leave the pedal down, or I don't know what the phrase is. I could just like just ease up in terms of like the battle or the prep. But at the same time, his team was pretty scary, so I kind of just have to respect it as such. So especially when you have a Dragapult, Mega Lopunny, those two are just a deadly offensive core. He does have both Vaporeon and Roserade, so I could see some classic Wish Pass and like Hatcher stacking and a Lycanroc. That's gotta be like Sand Rush for a drill. But in this situation, I actually just brought something like, I guess you could say a trump card, as you'll see. So looking at this game, I did bring like Wisp on Mew. Let me see if I did bring it. Yep, I did. This is my week 2 team. I guess I could go over here, even though it's all, the dimensions are all kind of like messed up. So Psychic Wisp, Spikes, Boost. Here, this is T-Tar with Dragon Dance and a lot of HP, speed, minimal attack investment because, I mean, T-Tar's attack is already ridiculously high. And we are bringing Scarf for Sandwich Drill again. Like, honestly, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because his team is super, super fast. And we just want to be faster. So yeah. Boots Zapdos with Toxic, not much to say. Sub Protect, or Sub or like Seed plus Protect Zelly, not much to say there. And we have our Scarf Trick Healing Wish Zap, or Latias here, so obviously to give like T-Tar or Drill or Selly like an opportunity to like heal up or whatnot. So I also need Scarf, the Trick Scarf, just to like wear down the I think it was definitely for like the Vaporeon or Slurpuff. That was like I think that was like, yeah, I think I actually brought like a Scarf Drill for that reason. So yeah, I am bringing double Scarfers in a way, but it's kind of interesting since they're like ridiculously fast in this case. So here I'm gonna go for the thing, Celesteela, as he goes into Dragapult. I have to be very mindful of what this thing can do, so I'm gonna go for Protect as he goes for the Fire Blast. And already this is gonna be interesting because could this be special? Could this be mixed? We have to wait and see. So I'm gonna go to the Pupitar, the T-Tar, as he's going for the Fire Blast, and he gets a good chunk on me. And honestly, there's not really much I can do here other than just go for rocks, or just go for damage. I keep forgetting I have Drill with rocks sometimes. That's the thing about, one thing I will say though that was really awkward with team building, is that one of these guys is going to have rocks or spikes, or both. So T-Tar or Drill is going to have rocks or like hazards. Here I'm going to go to Mew, as he's going to likely go for the Scald. Hopefully I get to convert him, but of course I don't. So his Vaporeon's good, is getting chipped, so that's pretty good for me. So here I'm just going to go take my time to set up like spikes as he goes to Shadow Ball. And honestly, this is fine for me because that means he doesn't have either Protect or Heal Bell, maybe even Wish. So I'm just going to go for the Roost here, as he goes for a Shadow Ball again, and he gets a Spadef drop, and it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go to my Zapdos, as he's going to go for a Shadow Ball again. I think that gets a crit, but honestly I don't even know why that matters, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. We can roost it off anyway, so yeah. Here he's gonna go for the Protect, so at least we kind of know that he either doesn't have Heal Bell or Wish. So that's, if I could just Toxic his team, that's gonna be massive. One thing to note is that he doesn't have any ground resist, so if I could just like get Drill in and have everything weakened, that could be pretty massive. So here he's gonna go for the Sleep Powder, and he's gonna put me to sleep. And there's not really much I can do. You could just set up hazards and just chip me down with this Hidden Power Ice or Fire with Technician Boost. I actually get lucky and I do wake up turn 1. That's pretty massive there. I was kind of hoping he knocked me out, so that way I get Excadrill in. And now I could just like Protect out of this situation, so yeah. At this point I'm like pretty much unconcerned about this, so I'm gonna go hard T-Tar now, as I'm gonna be able to take the Shell Ball pretty well. And yeah, there's not really much to say here, so I think Dragapult has to switch out here. He goes hard Bisharp, as I am gonna go for Crunch. Hopefully I don't activate his Defiant. And I am actually faster than him, since there was a concern during prep. So I just outspeeded the Bisharp and just kill it there. So I was actually concerned that he'd just bring Sticky Webs in this game, since I was max speed T-Tar, so yeah. Here he's gonna go to Lopunny, and at this point in the matchup, I'm like, yeah, Mew's gonna die. So he's gonna go for Pyro Punch, and that's gonna be pretty massive because other than the Rocky Chip damage, the Sand and plus Rocky Helmet's pretty massive there, because that's gonna allow me to like revenge kill the with Escadrille first soon. So if he attacks me again, that's gonna be pretty massive. Um, so he does go for the attack, and he knocks himself out, or he puts himself in range of my Kara or my drill. Here I go for Latias first, just to see what he goes into initially, and I'm gonna go for Psychic, as I do get lucky and I get the Spadef drop. That's pretty massive, so... Alright, so we're back. So this battle is sort of like taking into its like last phase, since I'm basically with Zapdos ahead of with Vaporeon in front of me, so that has like a Spadef drops. And honestly, he's gonna have to sack the Vaporeon no matter what, since it's already like very low at 49%. Well, I guess like 56 after, or 55 after like leftovers. But with like the incoming spikes plus any attack like I have from my mons, it's like Vaporeon's basically dead. So I'm just gonna go and just discharge the Vape, and out comes Dragapult. So as you can see, the spikes are gonna be pretty useful towards this end game, since all of his Pokemon are grounded. So, and with that, I could just play my Zapdos a little bit more like riskier. But I think in this case, I decided to, you know what? I'm just gonna go for my Roost, see what he locks himself, or what if he goes in for. Since he has shown that he's special Dragapult based off his moveset. So he actually goes for the U-turn, which is kind of massive here, as Zapdos is able to roost off the damage. However, that's kind of big because that's pretty much implies that this thing is probably like some like voice set. And but here's the thing now, like Lopunny is like very low HP, and I could just go for discharge. He's gonna go for the return, but he gets paralyzed, and again, Zapdos knocks him out. Out comes the Lycanroc, and yeah, at this point, this game is basically over, since he does reveal the Life Orb, and I could just spam like Earthquake with Drill, and I just claim it Oko. So yeah, and unless this thing is Scarfed himself, which he isn't, then like we're able to clean up. So, and that's gonna be GG. So GG's to Alex, as it basically went perfect this whole season. And I'm not gonna lie, part of that's because of like our team. Well, it's pretty ridiculous if you think about it. But the other part of it is, I think I had like some of my best, some of some of my like harder matchups in the beginning, and like especially towards the end. But I think in this battle, like this wasn't like a winner take all type of thing. So like I didn't like take it as seriously, because I did kind of bring like almost the same sets I did bring this last week, as I think he did. Not taking anything against him, though, since it's like this is like the end of the season, so, and like I think he was already out of playoffs, so, and I'm already in, so. So regarding that, that's the regular season of Scrabble. And I guess I'll just like say I will be going over my playoffs run for Scrabble, and you'll see how that goes. So, our playoff run, I will say, is kind of interesting, and it's kind of funny, especially in this one battle. But we'll get to that in a bit. So, but in due time. So anyways, that's all I have, and I'll hopefully like see you guys soon with like some like an upcoming video or two. So